It's time, finally, for my final countdown. Correction, it's actually the first of many. But anyways, for all those titles. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, everybody. I am Jamie Jew, and welcome back to a brand new video where finally I'm about to do my first of hopefully many countdowns on Eurovision. It's been an idea that has been long logged in my brain, but it's just taking the time to do these sort of things, and no doubt this is probably going to be quite a long-winded video. Quite a lot of editing involved, but screw it, I am going to do it right here, right now, for your viewing pleasure. But what is the first countdown I am going to do? Well, it is to do with the top 10 Eurovisions of all time, as in like the actual years of each particular Eurovision song contest. In other words, which particular year was better than others. And this is literally my top 10 best Eurovisions of all time. As always, quick disclaimer from the start. /long one. This is of course my own opinion, so if you don't agree with it, don't bash me about it, okay? Just say politely what you think was different and claim your own top 10s in the comments below. Just type away, you know, do your thing, but don't have a bash me about it, okay? Don't say don't be too negative. In terms of the criteria making it, it is not only slightly based on biasness, i.e. the United Kingdom's involvement, but also in terms of the significance around of the songs, in other words, what top quality songs were there, the significance of what other actors would affect the Eurovision of that particular year, any potential controversies, sort of, maybe not so much controversies, but certainly significant moments that would gather the whole Eurovision year as a great overall package. You know, from anything, the hosts, the staging, to the connotations of the year maybe, but certainly the song quality, that's a very good one. And without any further ado, here are my top 10 best Eurovisions of all time. Let's go. 1981! This was the year, of course, following on from Johnny Logan's victory in 1980 in The Hague with What's Another Year. While the staging itself was sort of meh, to say the least, it was nevertheless very colourfully, brilliantly lit up by RTE, and to have it all literally sort of staged in golden colours was actually not a bad mix. Presenter Dorian Bahrain, hope I pronounced that right, actually put on a very professional show, but boy oh boy did the top 5 of that particular year make for a very interesting reading. Ireland followed up their first place finish via 5th place with Horoscopes and Sheba. Peterson and Mark graced the Eurovision stage once again, first time for Switzerland in 4th place with L'Ostensité. France had Jean Gabelot with and if it weren't for Bucks Fizz literally making your mind up for the United Kingdom, Johnny Blue probably would have won it for Lena Valatis and Germany. Did I mention that the United Kingdom won with Bucks Fizz when making your mind up? And in fact, the voting was very, very close all the way to the end, making it for a fantastic viewing and overall a great song contest and marking up the United Kingdom's, at the time, 4th victory in the contest. It's just a shame the British public don't really make up their mind these days in regards to anything political. I'm looking at you, Boris Johnson. 1994! This was the year, of course, that Ireland followed up their second straight victory in a row after 1993, and they would pretty much do what they did practically throughout the 90s, and that was constantly win everything. But as always with their usual professionalism in Ireland, with perhaps very charismatic male host, Ireland would actually knock up their 3rd straight victory in a row with arguably one of the most underrated songs, if you ask me, Rock and Roll Kids by Paul Harrington and Charlie McGettigan. But the whole kit and caboodle would actually be more famous for the interval act itself in Riverdance, which turned out to be one of the most popular things to ever grace the world stage and would soon form all sorts of Riverdance-esque type things all around the world. Now, excuse me whilst I get my tap dancing shoes, I've been meaning to get a few lessons. 1969! And no, we are not doing the nice part at the end of 69, thank you very much, but it was certainly a nice year, which took place in Madrid, Spain, the very sunny country, and it was certainly nothing to do with the fact that General Franco kind of, let's just not go there, okay? Aside from 1968, this was the first time outside of the United Kingdom which both had an eclectic mix of black and white and colour television coverage, whichever way of the corner of the European map you would look at. But not everybody had colour television, so the majority of which still had to watch in black and white. Oh, the days of lack of colour. And whilst everybody was still very colourful in their particular outfits, especially Spain, it wasn't just Spain who ended up getting their second victory in a row, because they ended up tying the whole thing with 3 other countries: Netherlands, France, and the United Kingdom. In the first and only instance of there ever being a 4-way tie for first place. And thankfully, the rules and regulations have stipulated since then that no other tie can take place, so thank Criminy Crickets for that. 1997! Another one of the Ireland host years, this time for the 4th and, thankfully, final time in the space of 5 years. I suspect the old money saving pot had kind of run out by then. And while the stage in itself, it has to be said, was very impressive and very modern artistic for the time being, Carrie Crowley of RTE fame and Ronan Keating of Keating and Boyzone fame decided to grace the whole of Europe with their presence in presenting the whole thing. The year in itself was actually a very impressive mix in terms of different songs, with the top 5 consisting of Cyprus with Hara and Andreas Constantino and Mon Amour, Italy gracing 4th place with Alice and Fuimi di Parole, Turkey surprising everybody with 3rd place and Sebnem Parker and Group Ethnic with Dinile. Ireland doing well once again, but this time coming 2nd best with Mark Roberts and Mysterious Woman, only for the whole kit and caboodle to literally be dominated by Katrina and the Waves and Love Shine a Light, which arguably is one of my favourite Eurovision songs of all time for the United Kingdom, which alas is still to this day the last victory for the UK ever. And since then we will go on to last places and sadness galore, because quite frankly, the BBC can't give a... 1988! The year of another Ireland host, this time without the whole 90s dominating syndrome, but another one where Johnny Logan won the whole thing the year before. But that year possessed Swiss tutus and a man literally singing about someone sodding off for once. Yes, it was the Battle of the Titans between United Kingdom and Switzerland for Eurovision Supremo. And they set their foot on stage, arguably one of the most modern-looking 80s staging you will ever see. The whole thing was presented by Michelle Rocker and Pat Kenny, who, by the way, is still going today. That doesn't mean to say other songs weren't good. 2 Scandinavian songs locked out the top 5, with Norway in 5th and Denmark in 3rd, and Luxembourg squeezing in between them like a Scandinavian sandwich. But arguably it came down to Yugoslavia, who just missed out on the top 5, to literally decide who would end up winning the whole kit and caboodle. And after giving Switzerland 6 points and Le Royaume-Uni 0 points, it ended up being Celine Dion with Ne partez pas sans moi to win the whole kit and caboodle ahead of Scott Fitzgerald and Go. Now the big question on everyone's lips, whatever happened to Celine Dion? I wonder. 2009! The first time that we virtually head literally the furthest east ever in the Eurovision Song Contest history to Moscow, Russia. And despite certain political tensions hanging around at the time, which aren't too dissimilar to these days, it has to be said, the only time Russia would ever win and host the whole kit and caboodle actually turned out to be one of the best Eurovisions in a long, long time. And for me, at least, the best one of the whole decade, because the United Kingdom actually ended up doing well. Yes, in change of tradition, the United Kingdom actually did well with future Sugar Babe Jade Ewan and It's My Time, with the rest of the top 5 seeing Turkey and Doom Tet Tekin with Hadise, Azerbaijan's Aysel and Arash always on their mind. Is it true? You better believe it, Iceland got 2nd that year, and not with Davi Freya. No, instead it was Johanna who did all that. But of course, the runaway dominating winner that year, literally grabbing all records galore, was Alexander Rybak of Norway and Fairy Tale. And as if we couldn't get enough violins, he decided to have another crack in 2018, which didn't go so well because he practically wrote a whole song about it. 1974, which of course graced us with you-know-what, but we'll get to that in a few moments. Anyway, we didn't get here for once via somebody else winning it the previous year. Instead, somebody else just decided, nah, couldn't be bothered. So the United Kingdom took over, and it was held in the glorious, beautiful, majestic city of Brighton. Which, yes, I will admit where I live, but still is lovely. Hosting it all for the 4th and final time of her career was legendary presenter Katie Boyle. As far as a particular top 5 is concerned, well, technically 3 countries shared 4th place, and they were Monaco with the I can't pronounce it, sorry. Luxembourg's Bye Bye I Love You with Irene Shear. Olivia Newton-John greased up our screens before she even did grease for the United Kingdom with Long Live Love. The Netherlands literally saw a star with all of this malarkey with Malcolm McNeil. Italy got second place with Gigiola Cinquante with C, which, by the way, as far as the particular country is concerned, they didn't even bloody watch it live. But of course, who can forget actually who won the whole kit and caboodle? Actually, we literally cannot forget about it. We literally have to remember it every single year. It's a tradition. Waterloo and ABBA, Sweden. Get done. Got it. Good. 2016, the year of absolute peak powers for the Eurovision Song Contest, and boy oh boy was there change afoot. The staging was arguably one of the most modernistic settings for the Globe Arena in Stockholm, Sweden, thanks to Måns Zelmerlöw, who ended up co-hosting the whole event, along with legendary presenter in her own right once again, Petra Mede. Who doesn't love a bit of Petra? And it was also a year of fantastic songs left, right and centre. The Swedes even did well on home soil, finishing in 5th place with Franz and If I Was Sorry, a fantastic song which literally said he wasn't sorry whatsoever. Bulgaria went full party mode with If Love Was a Crime by Polygenova. What a classic that was. It probably should have been Russia, but instead they finished 3rd with Sergei Lazarev and You Are the Only One, with possibly one of the best stagings ever done on Eurovision history. Even Down Under did well in 2nd place with Australia's Dummy Im and The Sound of Silence. Well, not really Sound of Silence by her voice. But arguably the biggest shock winner of them all, Ukraine's Jamala, with 1944, with even some slight controversy surrounding it, as it was revealed it was already around a year prior to the contest itself. But as a result, it's made her even more popular today in the Ukrainian front. But I would personally say it was the antics of the presenters themselves that made it their own, especially Måns with his wolf antics in one of the semi-finals. 1998! Because after what happened in 1997, this was the last ever time the United Kingdom ever hosted a Eurovision Song Contest ever. I mean, yes, we hosted those stupid Eurovision dance contests, but they don't count. And aside from the fact that commentating legend, God rest his soul, Sir Terence of Wogan presented the whole kit and caboodle, without of course some Swedish flair, Johnson, the whole thing was presented in front of 4,000 mad people at the Birmingham National Indoor Arena, which, fun fact, hosted Gladiators for quite a few years on ITV. And the top 5 of that particular year was very, very impressive. Croatia with Daniela and Neka Me Zvane, arguably one of my favourite underrated songs of all time. What a ballad that is. The Netherlands went Party Anthem and Sicilia with Hemelinare. That was covered by the big one, no pun intended, I'm so sorry, Malta's Chiara, the one that I love. And the United Kingdom, for the 15th and last time since, they come 2nd place with Imani in Where Are You? But who could forget the diva herself, Dana International, won the whole kit and caboodle for Israel with 172 points. Notching up their 3rd or 4th victory before this thing came along. Honestly, bring back Dana International. I swear to God, please bring her back. Oh wait, she did. She didn't qualify for the final? Oof. 2021! Because we've just had it, and arguably it was one of the most memorable contests all our freaking round. Like, we cannot even forget about ever what happened. Played by the whole you-know-what situation, we still had a contest to do in Rotterdam Ahoy, the Netherlands, of course. Presented by Chantal Jansen, Jan Smit, Etsilia again, and Big Nicky de Jager, in amongst a reduced crowd that still craved for Eurovision madness. And oh boy, did we have it. On this year's contest, Eurovision gave to me Goose Pie Yaya Ding Dong. 4-0 points, loads of bloody trumpets. Ukraine go away shoo. Davy with 10 years, John going high. Spotlight for the French, Måneskin rocking for Italy. And that about does that. Yes, this has been a long one. Too bloody long for my liking, but you know what? It's gotta happen, isn't it? It's gotta happen. But nevertheless, thank you ever so much for watching. But please do let me know in your little comments down below there, your comments, you know what I mean, on what you think my next top 10 should be. Get yourselves typing down there. And actually let me know what you think, what's your particular favourite year. Was it 1992? 56? Anything, let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, be sure to smash that like button, like Sean Connery would. You should better like that smash button, smash lucky wikey as good as hard as you can if you like this video. Subscribe for more if you feel like doing so, and ring the bell to get notified about my latest videos. Otherwise, I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye, everybody. Bye bye.